Hey, it's Percival Whitmore here with the Impact Within You, the Impact in You. This is the series where I'm sharing keys as always, helping you, helping the world, and just helping everybody, inviting you to the table. And we're just going to discuss this series that I believe that God wants me to share with you through my own personal experiences, through other lessons that I've learned, and just want to be a blessing, So as said before, we talked about before. What did we talk about? We talked about uncertainty, and then we talked about, there we go, being teachable, being teachable. The one thing that um, you must realize when you're in a place of uncertainty is that, as always, I'm going to state it again, is the fact that you're not in control. As stated before, I said that I believe, on my own personal belief, that uncertainty is not a place that you are dropped. It's a place where you're led, where you've journeyed out, and it's a revelation where you make a choice and you ask questions. And so I wanted to share with you guys. This podcast may be long, it may not, but I just wanted to share with you guys a story. A few podcasts ago, I talked about how a specific moment in my life where I went 7 months without any income. 7 months without any income, and before then, it was the most smoothest year of my life. It was job opportunity after job opportunity, connections after connections, hellos, celebrations and praises as always. And after that moment, like I said, I think it was around August or September, um, my job ended. My term ended. Um, and I went to school. It was my first year at in college, and it was pretty hard. I mean, I had a car note and had to take care of other things, other responsibilities, and this moment was a little bit uncertain for me. It was a bit uncertain. I didn't know what was gonna happen next for my personal saying financially, and being that it was financial, it caused me to question in other areas. Um, I really didn't think about share the keys before then. It's always been a thought that was pondered. It was always something that wandered around in my mind, but it wasn't really something that was in my mind and was deposited in my soul and my spirit to be released and to be shared with anyone else. So in this process, man, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy, not to say that there was a lot going on. It was chaotic. It was crazy because it was beyond me, and I know it was nobody else but God who led me through this opportunity. So I'm in school. I have my support. I have people around me who are telling me, like, Percy, you know that you're a good person. You know it's soon to come. It's soon to come. It's soon to come. It is soon to come. And I'm hearing this, and I'm like, dude, that's dope. That's great. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love the energy that y'all are giving me. And in the mind, I felt that it's just energy that is being deposited in a hole and not going anywhere. I don't know. It might be somebody who's listening to me who you might feel like that. People are encouraging you, telling you to keep going forward, to keep moving forward, and you like it. You love the attention, you love the inspiration, but it feels that once the encouragement is gone, you're still stuck in a hole. For a brief moment, John Maxwell, a great man on leadership, talks about, he mentions one thing that I believe I should share with you guys, and the fact of the matter is that he said that when you cannot change anything else in your situation, change how you think about it. Change your perspective in the midst of where you are. If you can't change where you are, change how you see where you are. And all that means is to change your thought process, change how you think about it. It's one thing to say, oh, I'm going over a bridge to get to your destination. Or it's, oh, in order to get to where I need to get to, I need to head over this bridge. I need to head over here. There might be something I see on the bridge. But if your mind is so fixed on what you're going through, you'll never know or have the expectation and hope to where you're going to. And so to continue to the story, just briefly, I wanted to share how this story came about. So one day I went and talked to my advisor, and I told him, I was like, you know what? I've been depressed for too long. I've been down for too long. I need to talk to somebody about this shenanigans, okay? So I'm talking to him, and he's like, yo, I got something for you. And I'm like, man, I don't know. He's like, dude, he's like, I got this event coming up, and I would like for you to be a part. And I'm like, I don't know. So I took some time to think about it. And it's crazy how, just a side note, like it's crazy how when before you're given an opportunity that you're so dire that you say to yourself, I'm willing to take anything. But then when that opportunity comes, all of a sudden you're like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. And the thing is that moment is, let me tell you from pure experience, is that moment right there that you feel between opportunity and the neglect of opportunity is the fact that you are not in control of how it will turn out. That was my fear. I was in fear of not being able to control the scenario, for me to not be able to control that event, to know who's in that room, to know what's happening. And so I took some time, I pondered it up. I talked to God. I mean, I was walking around campus just talking to God like, man, God, is this it? Is this what we're going to do? And I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. It's not that God wasn't there. I believe God was he trusted me. He trusted me in those times where I was journeying in an uncertain place where I was led. And now I'm in a place where God says, okay, I love you enough, and I know I've deposited something great in you. So I want you to make a choice. So we're here, and I'm in the library. I see it clear as day as I talk to you now. It's just like yesterday. I'm in the library walking around like I'm so nervous. And I go to my email. My advisor emails me, sends me the link. And he's like, send everything in. And the screen automatically was telling me like there's already 22. The capacity is 22. We're at 21. All this stuff that could tell me like, yo, Percy, you don't have to do this. They already got 22. The 21 person, the 21st person, could come in and then bing, bang, bow. It's all over. You got it. Now you're back into your suppressed place, which is where, unfortunately, was where my flesh and where my mind wanted me to go. It wanted me to go in a place I was comfortable. And if that meant me separating myself and being miserable because I can control that, instead of going to a place that can benefit me that I can't control. So I arise the question before I move on. Would you rather stay in that place where you're comfortable? Are you in a place, I ask you this, are you in a place that you feel comfortable enough to let things pass by? You've been living life and it's been numb. You've been living life and you've been just going through. When I promise you that God has given you a key to where you are going through, and not only you have to go through, but it's not even a going through. It's a what can I say? It's a elevate. You elevate to see. You can't see it all, but it's the fact that you step out of going through and you see what could be, and you hope for when it will become. And so back to the story, I would say about this time, I'm like, let me go ahead and go by faith. I feel it in my spirit. I'm like, let me go ahead and go by faith, and let me do this. So I sign up, click everything, and I kid you not, I'm so nervous, I'm shaking, and I'm like, why do I feel this way? I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. And so I end up getting a phone call, I promise you, in 5 minutes. It might have even been less than that. And then there's a woman on the phone and she tells me, Percy, persevere, is that how you say it? I'm like, yes. And she was like, yeah, we received da 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 da. And I'm thinking that this is like probably a week or two from now. She was like, yeah. She was like, you have applied to be able to speak in an event for a marketing pitch for 3 minutes. You must market yourself in under 3 minutes, and it's on Monday. It's on Monday morning. I'm like, what? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. My advisor set me up, and I could have backed out. I could have been like, no, I'm not ready. But something in me, and even with the person on the other side, was like, we want you to be here. And she was my coach. So she was like, I can meet what time you want to meet. We can meet on Friday. We can talk. I can coach you through, and then we'll get through this. And so we reach through, we make it through, and I meet her up on Friday, and I'll go up into this building I haven't seen, and I haven't seen anything else, and I'm like, wait a minute, this building is kind of nice. This is nice, and I go there, and I'm nervous, and I'm just like, you know what, God, I gotta give what I have. I'm not gonna fake it. I'm not gonna try and be something that I'm not. I have to give you everything I have. Whatever this person asks, I'm gonna give them who Persevere Whitmore really is. And so she asked me, she's like, so what's the story? What's behind you? What have you done? And so I tell her, I'm like, okay, my name's Persevere Whitmore. I've been in this, that, and the third, and I explained everything there it was. I explained everything that it was, everything that happened in my life, the struggle that I felt. But what I did not say was where I was. Because the fact of the matter is that where you are right now doesn't matter, because God is preparing right now for tomorrow. How you live today is how you will live tomorrow. And so based upon what you do today, it'll begin the process of how tomorrow will start out. And so with that in mind, she stopped me. She was like, wow. She was like, you're so powerful. Like, your story is so powerful. She was like, can you be the closer to our event? And I'm like, what? Closer? And I'm like, I was like, I mean, in my heart, not in my heart, my mind, I'm like, no, don't. I didn't even want to become a part of this, and now I'm being the anchor that holds everything together. And so I'm she asked, I tell her, I'm like, I have a class in the morning. I can't do that. I have a class. And so she's like, well, we'll put you up front first. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And so now weekend passes by, and I share this with you because I know it blessed me, so I want to bless you and share this key with you, is that I went to the event. I went there early, dressed up. My coach met me before outside of the theater room before we presented, and I met a guy. This is something that I believe this is what the whole purpose of gifts are for, is to share. And so I met a guy out there, and he was there. He was practicing, and he was asking me. He was like, dude, how do I sound? And how does this sound? How do I look? And I'm like, hey, I said, as long as you give everything that you have and you present it with confidence, that's all you can do. And so with that being said, it's the fact that my flesh, now that I've been in uncomfortable for a while, uncomfortable has now become comfortable. So now I can activate and God can use me in a powerful way. So this is another thing I want to leave you with, is that although you might feel uncomfortable, you have a seat. Although you may feel uncomfortable, you have a place to be where you need to be. And with that being said, you need to be able to understand that your seat is already being made. Your seat has already been made. I was sitting in the back, and while he was asking me everything that was going on, and he was like, how do I sound? Am I good? Is everything all right? And I did not know that there was over like 50 people sitting down, and the seats were numbered. And I sat in the back just watching and seeing, and everybody kept passing by. This is the blessed part that I want to share with you. Everybody kept passing by the first seat. I did not know. And people would turn to each other asking, who is this first person? Who is this person? Who's going first? And while I was oblivious to the fact, my coach came up to me. She asked me, and another guy who was over the event, they asked me, they were like, do you need any water? Do you need anything? Is everything okay? Is everything all right? We're going to present your name. We're going to have you on the screen. We're going to have everything laid out. And the fact of the matter is that, yeah, I want to keep going. And so everything was laid out. Everything was good. And so I ended up going down, and I'm like, this is my seat? I'm number one. I'm the seat. And I kid you not, yet again, the time I heard God was when I sat down in that chair, and all I heard was the scripture. That he shared the scripture with me, and that he shared that he prepares a table. Is that he will prepare a table in the presence, not to say everybody was my enemy, but the last shall be first. I considered myself last, and God had put me first. I considered myself my own value, my own skill set, my own attributes, my own experience. I downplayed myself when God was like, I've called you to be first, though. I've called you to be first. And so I go down, the young man pronounces my name, and he persevered with more. He's going to explain, da-da-da-da-da. All of these corporate businesses are lined up, have my resume laid up, and I get even nervous. And I walk down, and I'm like, okay, God, I can't walk out of this one. I can't just walk away. It's my time. It's time. So I stood there, looked straight in the back. I didn't really look at anyone. And I said good morning, and I all of a sudden something in me started to activate, and I was like, yo, what is this? So I became confident. Some would say too confident, and then I said good morning, and after good morning, I forgot everything I practiced. Now note you, this experience, this moment that I had was only supposed to be to market myself was only supposed to be under 3 minutes. So I had to market myself under 3 minutes. So I forgot everything I practiced. And note you, I did practice. I didn't just go up there and went off a whim. There wasn't some miraculous thing how God just made me do all this stuff. I put in the work, and God used what I had, and he multiplied. And so with that, like I said, I was up there, I forgot everything. And then inside of my mind, I talked to my spirit. My spirit was talking to me. I was like, yo, I cannot do this. All these people are watching me. My people are looking for me. And then all of a sudden I heard within myself, just say what's on your heart. Just say what's on your heart. So I want to leave that with you. I want to let you know, one is that you have a seat that you may not know of because you're not in control of the room right now. You're not in control of this place that you're in. And two is the fact that in this room, in this prison-like place, like Joseph was still willing to help people in the midst of being in a prison. And then yet again, even when you feel like you failed, it's not the fact that you don't qualify yourself when you're in this walk, y'all. I'm going to tell you right now, brother and sister, that it's not about you in this walk. It's not about you in this walk, and it's not about me. It's about the fact that God has qualified you in a way to where sometimes you deny it yourself. And that's why I say and share the keys, and why I believe God has given this statement and share the keys, is the fact that your room is not your own. And so with that being said, I just want to leave you with the fact that you have a seed. That right there, like on the screen, that's my seed. So I ask you yet again, where's your seed? Share the keys.